So this is my most embarrassing story, and I don't really know why I'm sharing this with you because this is completely true and happened last year on my 26th birthday when I went out and got the drunkest that I have ever got in my whole life. And it's completely self-inflicted, you know. I knew what I was doing. I knew that suddenly I didn't know what was going on, and complete blackout of the evening. I went to pubs and clubs and bars, and apparently I looked like I was having fun, but I have no recollection of it. I don't think I even knew what was going on. Went back to my kind of then boyfriend's flat in southwest London, and don't remember going to bed or anything. The next thing I do remember is waking up, standing in an unfamiliar corridor, propped up against the wall, and being completely naked. Not only was I naked, I was covered in glitter, I had pigtails in my hair, and I had no idea where I was. I was completely at a loss. I didn't know how I'd got out, I didn't know what number the apartment was I'd come out of, and I started wandering around this 14-storey apartment building. And it was like The Shining, you know, the carpets that go on forever and the walls that all look the same, looking for a sign of where I might have come out from. Couldn't see anything. And I went up in the lift and then, you know, downstairs, and this went on for about 45 minutes before, in desperation, I saw a number of a door that I thought, you know, looked familiar. I knocked on it and said, please, whoever's in there, can you get me a T-shirt or something, and can you please let me use your phone? I've sleepwalked out of my boyfriend's building. I haven't been here before, and I was unlucky because the woman that looked through her peephole and saw naked me freaked out completely and started screaming about how I was a lunatic and how she was calling the police. At which point I thought it's probably a good idea that I left. I was bit over the whole walking around this building and being naked, and just being completely and utterly hopelessly unable to make my situation any better on my own. So I went down to the bottom of the block, and there was a sofa. There was a very small sofa. In fact, the cushions on the sofa were about this big. I picked up one, held it, you know, over the most important parts, and I walked out into the bright sunshine of Victoria Station at around 6:30 on a Sunday morning. It was on Buckingham Palace Road, and there was a Starbucks on the corner that was full of tourists about to get the Gatwick Express. So it gets worse, because then there's a man parked in a white van on the curb, and I run up to him and I go, please, you have to help me. I've got no clothes. Can you give me anything to wear, anything at all? And he's there with his eyes falling out of his head, staring at me, and the only thing he can think to give me is a bright yellow construction worker's waistcoat. So I put this thing on, which draws even more attention to me because now I'm naked and day glow. And the next thing that happens is this kind of bow, bow, and the police pull up, and these two really young policemen jump out, laughing their heads off. One of whom actually does say, "Oi, oi, I can see your nipples." And they bundle me in the back of the police car. Don't give me any clothes, still stark naked, and they're laughing away, and they deposit me at my mother's house, who it's like first thing on a Sunday morning. She's just been woken up to have her youngest daughter just dropped there, flanked by two big policemen, and I was obviously still completely twatted. And so I go in there, and no, do you think that'd be the end of it? No, that wasn't the end of it, because so Monday morning, turns out that boyfriend, his flat's paid for by his big nasty corporation, and he gets called in on Monday by HR because someone has reported a disturbance, and lo and behold, there's 45 minutes of CCTV footage of me walking around that building naked. That's never ever gonna go away. And yeah, that is my most embarrassing story.